What is going on, everybody? John Pemba here with Howard Bender. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm Game Day MLB DFS Playbook Preview Show. We are looking at the Monday 9-game main slate. Howard, recording here Sunday evening. Had a nice little week plus reflection now on the start of the MLB season. Officially through the first week and a half here. Any takeaways you have? Any notable trends maybe you're seeing?
No, I mean, we're still in that, that early part of the season where you're still waiting for the slow starts to heat up, the hot starts to, kind of cool down a little bit. We just did a segment on the Fantasy Alarm Show called He's Due, just giving you that whole, that the greatest analysis known to mankind, the He's Due theory. And the players that we all mentioned all, Sham Blunt was talking about Shohei Ohtani, that, with the cloud over his head and, to start the season, what he's been doing. He started heating up this weekend. Nolan Jones, Josh Wagner threw his name out there. He's had two multi-hit games this weekend and homered on Friday. Right. Jim gave Evan Carter, who opened up 0 for 15, and suddenly Carter had, Friday and Saturday. I didn't even look to see, he hasn't played yet as of us recording this, but he has back-to-back multi-hit games coming up there. And I threw out Francisco Lindor, who after an 0 for 9 Friday, Saturday, booyah, 2 hits today and a home run. So, it's kind of funny for me. It's about to see, which of these marquee names or just the better names are still priced down a little bit in DFS because of this slow start. Mm-hmm. Some guys get, priced up no matter what because of name recognition. So, to kind of sift through this right now here in the early parts, I like it because, listen, we're a week and a half now basically into the season, and we're starting to see things kind of, even out.
Yeah, agreed. A big time on that one. As we look at this 9-game slate here, it starts at 7 o'clock. We runs through the 9:45. This is a Coors Field slate, Howard. We always have to point these out. Arizona in Colorado in this one with a 10.5 run total. Obviously, over the weekend, we saw a bunch of runs scored in those games between the Rays and the Rockies. They had the ridiculous 35, 40 mile an hour winds. All the weather issues that they're dealing with out there. So if that continues, where the runs tend to go. It'll be interesting to see as we cover this slate. Do these players now get the Coors Field bump? And I think this is the first time you and I have done a show where the Colorado Rockies were actually at home. So now we have to determine, okay, are we investing in the Coors Field game, given what their run total and the expected output is in those matchups here? So
we 100% are, John,
yeah,
but maybe not in the way everybody thinks.
Agreed. So let's break out the slate here. We go position by position. We'll start off our pitching. And yes, your eyes do not deceive you. That is Mr. Blake Snell, your top price starting pitcher on this slate, $10,300. Home debut here, season debut here for the Giants against the Nationals. He pitched 4 innings in the extended spring training game, got up to 73 pitches, had 11 strikeouts in that extended spring training game. So, you're getting the Blake Snell experience there. Charlie Morton up over 10K. Luis Castillo and Zach Eflin round out your top 4 price starting pitchers. Howard, how are you approaching this slate? And do you have any interest in the debuting Blake Snell?
I have 100% interest in the debut of Blake Snell. Right now, the Nationals, again, the sample size continues to grow, but out of 103 plate appearances against left-handed pitching this year, the Nationals have a 215 weighted on base average. If Blake Snell threw 75 plus pitches in his last tune-up start, struck out 11, he's in form. He's ready to go. If they stop him at 85, 86 pitches, I don't care. That's great. That's at least going the 5 innings for me for Blake Snell. He's just going to be able to pound the strike zone against this Nationals team. It is not an intimidating lineup at all. So I'll happily pay up the 10-3 for Blake Snell. I think Morton at the second highest priced is interesting, but I'm probably going to avoid that. Listen, the Mets are terrible, and Morton does kind of, match up on paper well enough, but you're still talking about a veteran who's on the decline and a number of veterans in that Mets lineup who can do damage against him. So I don't know if I'm going in that realm.
Yeah, I think we see the pricing up on these Brave starters, and maybe we'll continue to see that this season because they're just big money line favorites. They're minus 210 at home. You put the win equity in there with Charlie Morton. Those are big points on DraftKings, getting those 4 points here. He does get strikeouts now. The strikeouts aren't as prevalent as they were in his younger days. We've talked about that here, but 6 strikeouts in 5 2/3 here. And Atlanta's going to have to lean on these guys here. Spencer Strider, no good elbow. Sadly, we didn't touch on the injury storyline. We'll have, Colby Conway's got the injury report over at Fantasy Alarm out on Mondays here, and there's going to be quite a few starting pitchers, unfortunately mentioned in that article this week, and Spencer Strider, one of those. But you have Morton. What's going on with Luis Castillo? We've now had 2 bad starts. Now, sometimes you mentioned guys get off the cold starts, guys get off the hot starts. He's faced Boston, he's faced Cleveland, both at home. Now he's going on the road in Toronto here. Is this a fade for you until he gets right?
Yes, definitely, because Luis Castillo traditionally gets off to a slow start. We've seen him, do this. I'm pulling up the numbers right here to see what his career ERA in March, April, and in May are over 4.45. That's, or once 407, once 445. Then all of a sudden he rounds out into form in June and July, in the second half of the season there. So traditionally, Luis Castillo gets off to a slow start. I don't love this matchup against Toronto. I don't think Toronto is all that great. I would use it if I wanted to kind of deviate from the rest of the pack. I don't think he's going to have high ownership. But again, if I'm going to pay 9.4, I want something a little bit more of a sure thing.
Sure. 9K, Zach Eflin in LA. Again, the Red Sox pitching staff did go into LA. They performed pretty well. Big sad on Cutter Crawford not being able to get out of the 5th inning there on Friday. But overall, strong outings for them. We know the Angels offense is going to leave a lot to be desired this year. We got Paxton on the road against Minnesota, 87. Yu Darvish at home against the Cubs. Gallen in Coors at $8,200. Framber Valdez rounding out the AK tier up against the Texas Rangers.
If you're going to give me Zach Gallen at 82, Coors or no Coors, this Rockies lineup is atrocious. It really is. It's the same old faces, and anything new that's there right now is just not putting anything together. Chris Bryant likely out again with this sore back that's caused him to miss some time. There's just nothing about this Rockies lineup that says to me that a quality pitcher like Zach Gallen can't just absolutely dominate this lineup. So, if you're giving him to me at 8,200, this is traditionally a 9 to 9,500 pitcher on a slate like this. I mean, it's great. If this game wasn't in Coors, Zach Gallen would be the second highest price pitcher?
I mean, you see his pricing over the first 2 games here, $93 and $9,100 against at home against the Rockies in his debut. 5 innings, 1 earned, 3 Ks in that one. They won that game 16-1, as you can see. He was kind of in cruise control. And then they blew out the Yankees as well at home, but still 96 pitches. He pitched deeper into that game, 6 shutout innings, 6 strikeouts. I do think it's worth noting, something to keep watching. Obviously, as these guys kind of get ramped up. There were some reports on some decreased velocity with Zach Gallen, but obviously hasn't impacted him yet through these starts. Framber's in a really tough matchup, not going to go up against the Rangers lineup. Bailey Ober again against the Dodgers, not going to be going there.
Eflin, I like, by the way, I did like Eflin also.
Sure.
Just against the Angels, who have looked terrible. And it's Tyler Anderson on the mound. Yeah. So you've got some good win equity there on Eflin's side as well.
Yeah, Anderson stunned the world against the Marlins there. And again, Miami, we don't think much of their offense there either, but did toss 7 shutout in his debut. I would be willing to bet against a repeat performance out of Tyler Anderson there against Tampa Bay. When we work our way down into the next tier, is there an obvious spend down or value guy in the 7K range or below for you? I'm just looking at some of these matchups. I like Assad. He looked good in that first start against Colorado, but now he's on the road against San Diego, going up against Blake Snell. So you got to think that probably the win equity isn't going to be as strong in that one there. Spencer Turnbull had a really great first start.
You just hopped right over Jose Barrios.
I did.
You just hopped right over him. He's got that. I mean, listen, come on. This Seattle team, the Seattle lineup, do you really have that much confidence in them? Even though it's in Toronto, and listen, Jose Barrios, not terrible, but I mean, not like a lights out superstar, but like not terrible here. And this Seattle lineup is just so soft.
Yeah, I guess he did have a really good. If he can repeat the Tampa Bay performance, then we're golden, right? He got you 6 strikeouts. We talked about that Seattle still leads the league in strikeout rate this year. It's come down a little bit. It's 29%. It's not the 34% it was for the first week. So they are improving slightly in the strikeout department here. But he's such a ground ball pitcher. He's such a pitch to contact guy that if he doesn't get you the strikeouts, he went 6 innings, 1 earned. Even if he got the win there, that's only 14 fantasy points against Houston. So I would like to see maybe a little bit more upside, but there's a reason why he went from $7,700 back to $7,100 as well. So you are getting the value there. It is a good shutout. My initial view of Barrios is just like, like, so like, I don't know. Like,
how do you spell that? I want to put that in an article.
It's like an EH, UGH, like an egg. I don't know. Spencer Turnbull at least pitched out good against Cincinnati. 5 shutouts, 7 strikeouts. There is some strikeout potential there. The Cardinals lineup, a lot of name value in that lineup, but
not really turning out.
Yeah, they're all like on their way down a little bit. So, anybody else here for you? Trevor Williams obviously surprised everybody, but not going to run that one.
You don't want to go Julio Teheran in the revenge game narrative here against the Braves? Hell no. No, there's nobody down at the bottom there that I'm looking at using. Barrios is the lowest I would go at 71. And I think it's just going to be a matter of starting with Blake Snell, picking some hitters, and then figuring out where we want to go with our with our second pitcher.
Yeah, I'll correct myself. I said Asad was going up against Snell because I saw San Diego, but it's Darvish. Snell, obviously, with the Giants now here. I don't know. I think Asad's okay. I think he's a good pitcher. I just don't know if going up against the Padres is going to be too fruitful of an effort. I guarantee you're probably right. I bet Barrios is probably a chalk play on the slate. But with a 10-3 Snell, people are going to be looking to spend down at starting pitching, and Barrios against Seattle probably checks the boxes here. Let's move on over to catcher. Again, we talk about this all the time. We don't like to spend up at catcher. If you find yourself looking to spend up, you can. Gabriel Moreno in Coors, 4,200 against the lefty and Kyle Freeland. This is where we talk about it. Are you going to be spending up for some of these bats in Arizona against a lefty and Freeland? Christian Walker, Ketel Marte, Lourdes Gurriel, Gabriel Moreno. Like, there's a lot of righty bat. Eugenio Suarez. We're going to get to Arizona. They're all going to be priced up. You're going to have to figure out where your exposure is going to be when it comes to this slate on the offensive side.
Completely agree with you. You know what? And again, the catching situation right now, I mean, the pricing, the lean is to want to pay down. It's just so weird. It's so funny. I was just like, wow, is Ryan Jeffers really $4,000? Yeah. Like, I was kind of like looking through things and, seeing like whose name pops, whose name doesn't pop, who's going to cost something, who isn't. And yeah, man, I'm just kind of like, I feel like the furthest down I want to pay is Bailey, Patrick Bailey, from the Giants. I think that's the lowest, and I don't even like that play that much.
Sure. Yeah, I could go down to, depending on the Cardinals lineup, they hit Ivan Herrera 4th and 5th the last couple of days here.
It depends on whether or not Wilson Contreras is going to be ready to come back.
Lineup. Yeah, because if he's out again, and they're gonna hit him in the middle of the lineup at 28. Like, I'll gladly plug that in. I agree with you 100%. Though after that, like, outside of knowing who's actually in lineups on a Monday here, who got the day off on Sunday, we'll have to kind of figure it out one way or the other. Is Mejia in the lineup here? Minor league contract. Okay, so not with them anymore because he had lefties in the past. You've been on Alvarez, Darno against Tehran at 37. Yeah, I'm with you. I think spending down, and we'll see what these lineups come out at the catcher position.
Jonah Heim, I don't mind. He does. He's got decent numbers against lefties.
Sure. Yeah, I can get behind that. Framber Valdez usually better at home anyways. Get him on the road in Texas. Could be a little different there. First base, Christian Walker's 5,200 is calling out the Coors game. Otani and Freeman, though, get Bailey Ober at 63 and $6,100. Both of those and pretty good spots. Matt Olson's home run power starting to come around. He's got Tehran at 6K.
Bryce how's Harper, the fourth priciest guy? I like him.
Yeah. A guy that got off to a little of a slow start. Remember, it's like, oh my God, he's 0 for 11. And then boom, a 3-homer game, another 3-hit game, and all of a sudden he's hitting 300 again. So, yeah, I think all of these are great. I still think the ownership is going to go to Christian Walker on this slate. So if you're going to be different, you can spend up. Otherwise, again, you're kind of working your way down the list here. Yandy at 49 feels too high, but it is a good spot for him against a lefty. After that, I don't know. What's your next?
Yeah, it's not really. There's not really a whole lot to like once you get below Yandy Diaz.
Monte Wade against Trevor Williams, 3,300.
I guess, but let's face facts. Is first base really where we want to bargain shop, John?
No, I agree. I'm just calling out plays.
So let's talk second base.
All right. Well, second base has Mookie.
Who's that? Who's
right?
Mookie?
It's got Ketel Marte in Coors against a lefty at $5,500. Altuve against a lefty at 52 against Heaney here. I like Bryson Stott in the mid tier at 4,200 against Mikolas. Nolan Gorman homered twice today. He's 4K against Turnbull. Yeah, some mid option plays here.
Edward Julian against the lefty Paxton. I don't mind that play at all.
Okay,
I think he's got some possibilities there.
Sure.
Still dying to see the Texas Rangers play Justin Foscue.
Every slate we talk about it, he doesn't get in the lineup.
Dying to see him in the freaking lineup.
You know, we did build that example lineup with Josh Smith on Friday, and he had a huge game for us. So $2,300. So pay it off. Paid off big time there. We had a pretty good lineup again that day. Reese McGuire homered, my spend down catcher. Homer again today too. I think Reese McGuire has turned into an actual player for the Red Sox. Don't look now.
I do like Tyro Estrada also against Trevor Williams. I think he can deliver in that fashion. So yeah, they're good places to kind of pay down here at second base if we wanted to.
Yeah, I agree. I think when we get to our lineup building set portion of the show, it's going to be interesting to see where we go. Anytime you have a slate that has
how many Diamondbacks can we?
Well, that's what it is. You have a core slate and you have Dodgers and Braves on the slate. So it's where are you allocating your funds here? Because you can't spend up for everybody.
The bottom end of a lot of lineups,
right? If you're not in on Gallen, McMahon's had a really good series at home at 45.
Oh, he's terrible.
What do you mean terrible? He's over 400.
Dude, these Rockies are so bad, dude.
Yeah, but he's been hitting the ball pretty well.
Every time. Brendan Rodgers and Ryan McMahon. How many years have we been waiting for these guys to actually take off? I know this is DFS, so it's a totally different story. I get it.
Ryan McMahon had a good year last year, didn't he? Didn't he have like over 20, like 25 home runs or something? Yeah. Ryan McMahon last year.
Just perpetually disappointing in comparison to what everybody was saying
in
the early years of their career.
We have realistic expectations for now 3 straight years over 20 homers for Ryan McMahon. So, anyways, I don't disagree. I'm just calling it out. If you're going to stack that game, McMahon would be the one probably play on the other side. I would give it a look.
That's your run it back with McMahon.
Yeah, probably, or Nolan Jones, running back with one of those two guys. Muncy at 46 is pretty good here against Ober again, middle of the lineup, lefty bat, ton of power. Eugenio Suarez, I mean, again, gets out of Seattle.
Oh, you already jumped to third base? You didn't even say you were jumping to third base.
We were on third base. I thought we were down at second base. Did you want more second baseman?
No, I definitely don't want more second baseman.
Yeah. So I just moved on. I thought we were done.
Gotta segment it for the listener.
Yeah. That's true. The podcast audience, I think, hopefully picks up just on the cues as we're going out the windshield. Anyway, so we're on third base as we were discussing here. There are top price spends if you want to, but in the mid tier, I think is where I want to live. Again, I like Muncy, I like McMahon, and Eugenio Suarez is $4,300, hitting really well in Arizona. Now gets the middle of that lineup in Colorado at 43, cheaper than McMahon, cheaper than Muncy. gonna get a lot of looks. I think on this slate for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the that's the middle area there that you want to look. Looking further down the list here, I think Matt Chapman obviously deserves a look.
Sure.
We'll see who's in the lineup for Arizona. If Kevin Newman might be in the lineup, we're gonna have to wait and see because they what's his face? Geraldo Perdomo just went on the IL. So it's not a matter of like, oh my God, this is a great guy to have in your lineup. It's just an opportunity here to get some low cost exposure to the Coors slate.
Yeah, I'm annoyed that he's not like $2,500. Guy's been in the minor leagues, and they're just bumping him up, knowing that he is a.
I didn't even look to see what is Blaze Alexander only listed as a shortstop.
Probably now.
We don't look at him. Yep. He's just a shortstop. Okay.
He's a lefty, anyways, right? So you get the lefty matchup there.
Yeah, no. This was just a matter of like of getting guys in there.
Yeah, I meant more so like, is he going to be in the lineup with the lefty?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, okay. I got what you're saying.
Yeah,
I got you. Either way, Perdomo on the IL. Kevin Newman called up.
Correct.
Somebody, there's going to be, obviously these are sub 4K guys who, like John said, if all of these top price guys, the Dodgers, the Braves, and the Diamondbacks are all, priced up there, you're going to have to find ways to pay down. If you can get exposure to that lineup and pay down, i.e., like you said about Muncy, even though he's not like super cheap.
Yeah, 46 there. I think a spend down at third base could be our guy, Brett Beatty. Continues to hit the ball. Yeah, I mean, guy came into the league with a lot of hype, had a very bad rookie year, did not hit the ball well at all. The Mets continue to be a disaster, but off to a pretty good start to begin this year. Again, Charlie Morton, maybe the time's ticking away down on him. He's only $3,100. Is Luis Rice a righty? He's a righty. He homered the other day. It's a righty matchup. Is there anything else down here?
Nothing that kind
of Duran 27. Josh Smith is a lefty, right? So maybe Ezekiel Duran starts that game against Framber Valdez at 2,700.
Yeah, could be.
That's probably it.
Where's Miguel Sano priced at?
Good point.
Oh, is he still just a first baseman now?
Yeah, first base only. I saw him in your waiver wire article, Miguel Sano.
Dirty, right?
Yeah.
What about how much is Lipscomb, the kid from Washington?
Yeah, Lipscomb is 2,100. I mean, it's up against Blake Snell, so
going up against Snell,
not the best, but for a $0 punt play, basically $2,100. There could be something there. Madrigal has some stolen base potential against Darvish. It's probably it, I think, for me at third.
Yeah, nothing great.
Moving to shortstop as we go across the positions here.
Could go Mookie Betts here at short instead of second.
Could go Mookie Betts.
You have that kind of flexibility now.
Well, you do. He has that dual positional. He only plays one of them, but he has the dual positional eligibility.
Mookie, Trey Turner. I feel like if we're looking as far as like I mean, listen, Mookie Betts, obviously, you can't. I'm not going to argue against Seager. I'm not going to argue against Trey Turner. Lindor just woke up, so that's a possibility there. Assad we like, but still new.
Sure.
And Machado is definitely worthy of some work there. Kind of middle of the road there, though, as far as this goes. I go to Jeremy Pena again against the lefty. His numbers against lefties are rock solid, and he's sitting under 4K.
Yep, that's exactly where I was going to go. I've basically talked about Jeremy Pena. I think every slate that he's been on that we've done. Power's been around. I love this offense against left-handed pitching here for Houston. Heaney did have a good opening start, but he doesn't pitch very deep into games, and he is an all-or-nothing pitcher. He either strikes you out or you hit his fastball and you put up a bunch of runs against him. So I'm definitely willing to throw some Jeremy Pena in there at $8,100 for sure. What else do we have? Rosario's 3,400 against Anderson.
Mason wins 2,500 against Turnbull. That's got some mild appeal.
Yep. No arguments with me on that one. That may be it, though, for me at shortstop.
That is kind of it for me at shortstop.
All right. Outfield. kind of pick your poison here.
I don't know. There don't seem to be any good ones.
Yeah. They did bump Lourdes up to $5,300, so you are paying a premium, obviously in cores for that. But the righty lefty matchup. Tucker, you're on against lefties. They hit lefties very well. You'll hear us say that 1,000 times this year. Obviously, you have Ohtani, you have Acuna. Whatever game you're stacking, just take the best outfielder and plug and move on, basically.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with that. Let's look further down into the pool, though. Then we obviously know who the top guys are. Do you have any spend downs? Is there anybody that might kind of turn your head a little bit? I like
Michael Harris a lot.
Okay, yeah. Still at 4,400, obviously.
Yeah, a little mid-tier play. We lived in the mid-tier the other day, came through for us here. Mm-hmm. He hits in the middle in their lineup when they're facing a righty. He hits 6 today, he homered. So obviously when they face a lefty, he hits further down in their lineup, so you get a little more of the wraparound. But here he's in a position to drive in runs against Julio Teheran, so I'm in on there. Ward, again, $4,400 for him in that range, has some potential given the recent power surge out of him. Do they have so they have Randall Grichuk with them. 4K Randall Grichuk against a lefty in course. That's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah. Listen, I put him. He ended up in the waiver wire article also talking about how they're gonna, kind of sort things out. Him and like Jake McCarthy, but yeah, Grichuk against the lefty at $4,000 definitely works. Chas McCormick against the lefty. We know that he's solid there at 4K as well. I kind of like Michael Conforto also. He's off to a fantastic start. He's really kind of adjusted his approach at the plate. Right, he's hitting for power, and he's got Trevor Williams here. So you've got that lefty bat going up against the righty pitcher in a very favorable spot. So I like him at $4,000 as well.
Yeah, I'm checking to see what Jarred Kelenic did. Obviously, he's the lefties platoon there in Atlanta. Again, we're kind of going against Teheran. Kelenic today, 1 for 3. I know he had a good day the other day, but obviously in limited playing time has been off to a pretty good start. $3,800 for Kelenic here. 1 for 3 dropped his average to 579 today. So, a little bit of a slump there. Jose Siri, a lot of power and stealing bases a lot. Now he strikes out a lot, but a guy that can be a tournament play for you at 3,700.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's always had good power, and now he's obviously got the speed as well. He's already at 6 stolen bases, tied with Bryce Terang for the lead there. So yeah, I think Siri is definitely worth a look. I loved Outman going up against Bailey Ober. I think that's a great spot for him at 3,600, and I also like lefty swinging Brandon Marsh going up against Miles Michaelis.
Sure, yeah, no arguments with me there either. Marsh homered the other day, so that certainly works. I'm trying to see, was there another lefty righty matchup maybe we can target as we work our way down? We've talked Wade already.
Willie Castro, I know he qualifies at 3rd also. He's actually got decent numbers against left-handed pitching.
Okay,
so if you're not into James Paxton,
sure. I like Jackson Merrill at 32 against Assad. I do like Assad, but I do like Merrill as well.
Palacios, if he starts, Palacios against the lefty, nice little cheapie there at 3,100. I think that's got some good play to it as well.
Okay, yeah, so that works, and we'll get more information when these official lineups come out, who's in and who's out, so we can figure out where we're going to go with our spend down lineups, spend down plays, so we could fit in some of these Arizona plays here today. So let's get a lineup build. I think you and I are both kind of in agreement here with Snell and Berrios. That gives us 4K a player. So we are going to be looking to spend down at a few different spots here, Howard.
Do we want to pick where we want to spend down first? Like, who are like the deeper names that we actually were really kind of into?
I'm checking in on the Contreras thing here. So he was initially in the Saturday lineup, got scratched, and then didn't play Sunday because obviously that would That'd bring a big salary saver if we could just plug in Herrera here.
Let's put him in for the time being, because again, this is like 3 straight days that Wilson Contreras hasn't played, and frankly, he doesn't call a very good game.
Right.
Like they're playing him because of how much money they've given him, but I really would not be surprised to see them be like, you know what? Your hand's probably still a little swollen. Take another day. Take another day.
Sure.
Especially because Herrera's swinging a decent bat.
Let's do that. Let's do Pena at 38.
Yeah, we liked him over at short for sure.
And then Grichuk was 4K. And this can get us, this is a good base, I think, for our, because we do Walker. And I think this gets us Suarez. So Walker, Suarez, and Grichuk today hit 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, I like that.
And that gives us 40, basically 4,200 a play still. We had a 3K.
How did they face a lefty today on Sunday?
Did. Chris Sale.
Beautiful.
So okay, I think we have a good idea of what that lineup's going to look like.
Sick.
They did pinch run for Grichuk later in the day, but that doesn't really matter. They did start Alexander, but you mentioned, and Newman was up today. He hit 9th. So Blaze Alexander may play anyways, but again, I don't really want to go against a lefty.
No, I don't want to do that. Grichuk, by the way, John, I know how much you love the revenge game narrative.
True.
Again, here we go.
It's true.
So 4,100. Let's figure out where we want. I mean, second base. We could pop Mookie in there, sure. But was there somebody that we liked a little further down that might?
Yeah. So I liked Bryson Stott at 42.
Mm-hmm.
I'm checking out the Phillies lineup here because did they face a righty today? No, they faced a lefty in Mackenzie Gore. Trying to see where Marsh hits in this lineup because we could do a little Stott Marsh.
Oh, a little Stott Marsh would be nice.
A little Stott Marsh stack here. Let's see. Do they face a righty on Jake Irvin? Okay, Stott Marsh. Wow, they hit Castellanos that far down the lineup. Jeez.
Oh yeah, they're gonna split up the lefty bats.
Yeah, so it went Stott, Castellanos, Marsh, but they're still close enough if you wanted to go that route.
Do a little Stott and Marsh. Then what does that leave us?
Stott Marsh gives us 4,700 for another outfielder here.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
It's not. Ozuna just as a one-off for some power potentially. Oh, Michael Harris. I like Michael Harris.
There you go.
There you go. So there's an example lineup for everybody. Blake Snell, Jose Barrios, Ivan Herrera, which we have to find out whether or not he's going to be in the lineup or not. Howard and I will be back live at 4 p.m. Eastern time, though, so we'll have that information hopefully available for all of you by the time that show goes live. If not, hopefully by the end of the show, we'll have that live lineup for the Cardinals out there. Christian Walker is part of our Arizona Diamondback stat. Bryson Stott, Eugenio Suarez, Jeremy Pena, Randall Grichuk, Brandon Marsh, and Michael Harris with $300 left over. Of course, again, when these lineups come out, could have some more cheaper options available for Howard and I to utilize and then spend up for at the to get more exposure to this Coors game here. Howard, any final thoughts here before we get going?
I have no final thoughts, John. None whatsoever.
Well, everybody, good luck with your early preparation. We'll have the playbook out. I'm on the playbook for Monday, so that'll be out before our show. Tune in again, 4 p.m. Eastern. Like and subscribe. We'll see you then.